The empty driveway, the untouched guest room, the holidays that have become quieter and smaller. When an adult child no longer visits, the absence is physical and profound. It is not just a lack of communication, it is a lack of presence. You feel the distance in your bones. You remember the days when your home was the center of their world, filled with their noise and their needs. Now it feels like a museum of memories that they have no interest in revisiting. You invite them, and they are too busy. You offer to pay, to cook, to accommodate, and still they stay away. The rejection stings. You wonder, is my home no longer their home? Am I no longer their family? But Viktor Frankl, the psychiatrist who taught the world that even in the most barren conditions life has meaning, offers a different perspective. He suggests that their physical absence is often a sign of an invisible barrier, a barrier made not of miles, but of meaning. They are not visiting because the visit does not feel meaningful, or worse, because it feels draining. However, Frankl also teaches that we have the power to change the atmosphere of our lives and our homes. We can do something now to begin healing the distance. Today, we will explore powerful steps inspired by Frankl's logotherapy to transform your relationship from one of obligation to one of invitation. We will look at how to shift the dynamic so that visiting becomes a joy rather than a duty. We will discover how to make your presence a source of light rather than a source of guilt. This is not about tricking them into coming over. It is about creating a space so authentic and safe that they are naturally drawn back. Let us uncover the Franklian path to healing the distance, starting with the one thing you can control, your own spirit. The first step to healing the distance is to dismantle the dynamic of obligation. Frankl taught that human beings are driven by a will to meaning, not a will to obey. If visiting you feels like a chore, a duty, or a repayment of a debt, your adult child will resist it. Modern life is exhausting. People naturally gravitate away from drains and toward fountains. If your invitations are laced with guilt, you never visit anymore. I'm so lonely. You are framing the visit as a tax they have to pay. To heal this, you must shift the energy from obligation to meaning. Stop asking, "When are you coming?" and start creating an environment that is inherently attractive. Frankl emphasized that meaning is found in the realization of values. Does your home represent values they cherish? Is it a place of peace, laughter, and non-judgment? Or is it a place of interrogation and criticism? The action here is to release them from the duty to visit. Explicitly, you can say, "I know life is busy and I never want visiting me to feel like a burden. I love you and I'm here, but I want you to come only when it brings you joy." Paradoxically, removing the shackles of obligation creates the freedom necessary for them to want to come. When the pressure is off, the resistance often drops. You are offering them a relationship based on freedom, which is the only soil in which genuine connection grows. The second step is to look at yourself. Are you a meaningful person to be around? Frankl taught that we attract what we embody. If your life is empty and you are waiting for your child to fill it, your presence will feel heavy. You will be extracting energy from them rather than contributing to their life. An adult child who is already tired from their own life struggles will instinctively avoid a parent who needs to be propped up emotionally. To heal the distance, you must become a host of life, not a consumer of attention. This means cultivating your own garden. What are you learning? What are you creating? What brings you joy, independent of your children? When you are vibrant and engaged with the world, you become interesting. Your conversations shift from complaints about your health or the weather to insights about the book you're reading or the volunteer work you're doing. You become a peer, a fellow traveler on the road of life. This shifts the dynamic of the visit. It becomes an exchange of value, not a therapy session where they are the therapist. By filling your own existential vacuum, you make your home a place of abundance, and everyone wants to visit a place of abundance. If something in these words reached a part of you no one sees, you're welcome. To support the channel through the thanks button, it helps keep this space of compassion alive. The third step is crucial. Your home must be a judgment-free zone. Frankl noted that fear is the great inhibitor. If your adult child fears your criticism about their weight, their parenting, their job, their partner, or their politics, they will stay away. Avoidance is a safety strategy. They are protecting their will to meaning, their identity, from your disapproval. Heal the distance by declaring amnesty. Decide that your role has shifted from parent-teacher to parent-witness. A witness observes and loves. They do not grade or correct. When they do visit or call, bite your tongue. Practice radical acceptance. If they complain about their chaotic life, listen without offering a solution or an "I told you so." This safety is magnetic. In a world that is constantly judging them, a parent's home should be the one place where they are accepted unconditionally. When they realize they can walk through your door and not have to defend their choices, the visit transforms from a trial to a sanctuary. You become their safe harbor, and everyone eventually returns to the harbor when the seas get rough. The fourth step is to rethink how you invite them. Instead of a generic "come over sometime," which feels like a vague demand, offer a meaningful invitation. Frankl believed that meaning is specific and concrete. Invite them to something that aligns with their interests or values, not just your desire to see them. For example, if they love gardening, invite them to help you pick out plants for a new bed, not as work, but as a shared passion. If they love food, invite them for a specific meal you know is their favorite, with a promise of just an hour for dinner. Make the invitation low stakes and high reward. This shows that you see them. You know who they are and what they care about. It shifts the focus from "me needing you" to "us sharing this." It respects their time by being specific. Even if they decline, they feel seen and valued, not guilt-tripped. And because the invitation is tied to a shared meaning, it is much harder to resist than a generic summons. The fifth step acknowledges the reality of modern distance. Sometimes physical visits aren't possible due to geography or severe estrangement. Frankl teaches us to find meaning in what is available, not what is lost. If they cannot be in your living room, meet them where they are, in the digital world. But do it wisely. Don't use texts to nag. Why don't you visit? Use them to bless. Send a meaning cue, a photo, a quote, a memory, with no expectation of a reply. This is digital presence. It reminds them you are there, loving them, without demanding their time. It keeps the bridge intact. Frankl would call this maintaining the attitude of connection even in the absence of contact. By being a consistent, non-demanding positive presence in their phone, you remain part of their life. You are building a digital pathway that makes the physical pathway easier to traverse when they are ready. You are proving that your love can travel any distance. The final step is to adopt a stance of tragic optimism. This is Frankl's concept of remaining optimistic in spite of the tragic triad of pain, guilt, and death. It means accepting that your child may not visit as often as you wish, or perhaps not at all right now, but refusing to let that tragedy define your life. You choose to keep your door open and your heart soft. You choose to believe in the possibility of reconciliation. You choose to live fully in your own home, filling it with warmth and light for yourself, so that if they ever do knock, they are greeted by warmth, not the cold chill of resentment. This stance protects your dignity. You are not the abandoned parent waiting by the window. You are the keeper of the hearth, tending the fire of your own life. This self-sufficiency is not only healthy for you, it is deeply reassuring for your child. It removes the guilt they feel about your loneliness, and often when the guilt lifts, the feet follow. They come back not because they have to, but because they want to be near the warmth you have created. When an adult child no longer visits, the house feels too big and the silence too loud. But by applying the wisdom of Viktor Frankl, we can fill that space with new meaning. We can dismantle the dynamic of obligation, become hosts of life, create a judgment-free safety zone, offer meaningful invitations, bridge the gap digitally, and stand firm in tragic optimism. We do this now, not to manipulate them into returning, but to heal the distance in our own hearts. We transform our home from a waiting room into a living room. We reclaim our joy, and we trust that love, when freed from the chains of duty and guilt, has a magnetic power all its own. Your door is open. Your heart is whole. That is enough. If this video offered you a new way to look at the distance, please share your thoughts in the comments. What is one way you can make your home a meaningful place for yourself today? Your story is a light for us all.